I'm swapping in a 700cc snowmobile engine in my sister's old F150 Power Wheels, as well as building a new lighter and stronger frame with full Longtravel suspension, Baja style. Now the truth is, she hasn't ridden it much because I crashed this thing and hurt my ankle pretty bad. So ever since, it's been sitting in a scrap pile until this very moment. Basically going to turn this into a mini Baja truck with full Longtravel suspension and using a 130 horsepower snowmobile engine. Where I'm going to shove all this stuff in here, I don't know. I don't know if we can even fit all that stuff in here. Guess you guys will have to find out. Go Power Sports got us hooked up with all the drivetrain parts that I'm going to need. You know, it's kind of like a nostalgic build for me. It should have no problem pulling wheelies. Should be able to do like 130. The plan is to use Raptor 700 front suspension. I have it lying around already. It's going to be super simple, good brakes, lots of travel, and then the engine's going to be in the back. Wow, look at that, guys. It fits perfectly in the trunk. So after getting all the measurements from my Raptor 700 quad, it's time to bend some tubing. This is 1-inch DOM tubing. And lay it out on the ground and leave it pretty long so we could trim off the excess. And now I'm just recessing the trunk to see how well the engine fits inside. So we got that A-arm centered in the wheel well. So we're going to go ahead and weld the tabs to the frame. And we'll start cutting kind of all this stuff back, mounting the body, building this frame up, also mounting the engine. Alright guys, so this is Bailey. We love him around here, although he does chew up my motorcycle harnesses and seats. But we still love him. And why not treat him with the best dog food there is? And that's why today's video is sponsored by Sundays for Dogs. Sundays is made from entirely human-grade ingredients, meaning that a human could eat it. There are no preservatives or artificial flavors in here.
How is it? He really likes that.
Sundays for Dogs is air-dried like beef jerky, so it takes out all the prep and all the storage that normally prepping dog food would take. This dog food was developed by a veterinarian and a software engineer who didn't like the food that was out there for dogs. So they designed their own food, and I've got to say, this definitely makes dog food a whole lot easier and more convenient. And why not treat your pup with the best food there is? With that being said, guys, get 50% off your first order of Sundays using the code Vasily, or go to sundaysfordogs.com/Vasily to get 50% off. That'll be the first link down in the description. Check them out. Huge thanks to Sundays for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the live action. Alright, so we got that frame mirrored exactly to what is on the Raptor 700. It should allow for no bump steer. We're using just a whole bunch of parts I have laying around. YFZ 450 spindles, Grizzly 660 steering stem, Yamaha Rhino rear suspension. So I'm gonna add a bunch of negative caster to keep this machine stable at high speeds. The quad doesn't have that much caster, and that's just to make it more responsive in the corners. But this machine should easily be capable of 100 plus miles an hour. Will I ever take it that fast? Probably not. But if we do, peace of mind is nice. I mean, it's got a little bit. I think these need to go higher up. I'm a little bit disappointed with the travel. That's like 7 inches of travel, 6. But if you take a look at the spindle, we don't have any bump steer, which is nice. So yeah, no bump steer. So from the front to the back wheel well, we're gonna make some rocker bars there, come out on the side, and that's what's gonna tie in the whole roll cage and make the chassis stiff. I think I'm going for like 30, 32 inches, something like that. Alright, so we got our rockers located. Next up, we're going to start building up. So as you can see, very simple frame. Anyone can do this. I'm not going to bother doing any complex bends. So we're just going to lift the frame up now. Have some second frame rails up here that are just straight pieces of tube. And that's what the body's going to rest on. Then we could start connecting the front to the back and adding some proper stiffness into the chassis. So we got to bend the bars kind of to this contour. So yeah, the measurements came out perfect. The rocker landed exactly where I wanted it to go. So same thing on that side. And now we can get the distance from here to there. Okay, so we got this tube bent to the body, and now I'm trying to figure out how to connect the front to there. I think I'm gonna do something like that and then add another bend. So I'm super happy with how the body is resting on the frame. It literally is coming out perfect. So now we're going to connect this part of the frame to the front. The plan is to get this thing a complete roller by the end of this episode, hopefully mount the engine, and we are moving quite a bit ways along. I lifted the body up a couple inches just to give me more room inside. And yeah, it's coming out amazing. And then we're gonna add some more cross bracing on the frame so we could actually sit in it. It could support our weight. We even got the steering coming out of the perfect spot right there. Alright, so I'm walking up some tubing there to catch the shock and come back to that frame right there. Okay, so we want roughly, what is that? 34 degrees. What? That is spot on. Alright, so put the trunk on. Yeah, we got space. We got space. Now we can start working on the back half and mounting the engine. Alright guys, I gotta give a small little plug to HTP. This is their all-in-one welder that can do MIG and TIG, both at the same time, plugged into one machine, which makes it really convenient, all in one. And they are running a holiday sale across all their website, so you can check that out down below. But I've been using their machines now for over 4 years now, no problems. I mean, I've built like 3 cars and like 3 buggies with this one machine. So really nice welder, and we're finishing up the F150 as well. I'm drilling some holes here for roll cage provisions. The roll cage is going to be bolt-on, removable. I got this little temporary mock-up axle I'm installing from Go Power Sports just to get this thing around and moving. And next up, I'm going to install the steering hub for a quick release steering wheel. I'm using some TIG filler there to shim it out properly. And one thing I should have done is align it with the wheels. So I got to cut it off and re-weld it. So I spent hours in CAD coming up with this. Huge shout out to Sketchiest. I mean, look at all this intricate details, dude. This is 1/4-inch stainless, so it'll never rust. And the idea was to make a smaller version of this because this was too big. It hits my knees. And to where we can have thumb controls, like a handbrake and a hand throttle. So really excited to try this out. In hindsight, I think I made it a little bit too small, but we will see. That is like the lightest freaking steering wheel on the planet. Gonna have a finger throttle and a handbrake. Maybe a little bit too small, like we need to have leverage. But because the front end is already so light, I figured it'd probably be fine. So let's go ahead and bolt this beautiful steering wheel on. Huge thanks to Sketchiest. See, we even have provisions here for a kill switch button and lights. Walk backwards, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, keep walking backwards.
I am.
Alright, turn around.
I'm scared.
Turn around. Alright, happy birthday.
Again.
You're going from 12 horsepower to 130 horsepower. So, a whole car.
I was right.
Okay guys, and also, yeah, she see this coming, although she had no clue I was doing this, but she already guessed it. In all seriousness guys, this is for me. To start my sister out with this would be pretty dumb and dangerous. She'd have to work her way up. I mean, maybe I could put a governor on it and she could rip it. Why don't you go ahead and sit in it, try to sit in it. So, we're gonna do independent rear suspension. I am gonna size the tires a lot smaller. So what do you think?
I mean, I would ride it.
Yeah, well, you heard it here, folks. Let me know what you think about this build. I think this is the pinnacle of all Power Wheels builds. One of the most powerful power to weight ratio wise Power Wheels ever built. Perhaps the coolest steering wheel I've built. Doesn't quick release because the bolts are hitting. So yeah, we're gonna do some smaller tires so that they fit the wheel wells better. I don't want to cut the body anymore. We're gonna fiberglass the gaps, and it's gonna look sick. If it does too much wheelies, then we can just add some weight plates here in the front, so no big deal. But it is a Baja style, so we're gonna still do long travel front, long travel rear. Yeah, I'm super excited for this build. That being said, guys, check out the sponsor, Sundays for Dogs. Like this video if you enjoyed. Catch you next episode. Stay tuned. Peace and God bless.